This dangerous, toxic judge finally got her just due in court, and it only took 6 years and a ton of scandal, but better late than never. Pennsylvania District Judge Sonia McKnight. This woman is, I would say, the epitome of corruption in the court system of the United States of America. And she just happens to be a black woman, but that's another story for another video. But this woman, since gaining the heights of her position, has been embroiled in scandal for the last 6 years, and it finally came to a head, pause, if you will. Pause. When she attempted to delete her now ex-boyfriend, well, mainly because he wanted to dump her and want her to get the hell out.
Enemy spotted.
And she didn't take that too kindly. And well, as you see here, this is what she has been convicted of. But we're going to get to a video and go back through the history of the turmoil and scandal that she has since she's been judged. But here we go. Pennsylvania judge is convicted of shooting and wounding her ex-boyfriend as he slept.
Enemy spotted.
Yes. And most of you have seen this case already. But here, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, a magistrate judge in Pennsylvania accused of shooting and wounding her ex-boyfriend in the head as he slept was convicted Wednesday of attempted homicide and aggravated assault charges. She was taken away in handcuffs after the trial judge rejected a defense request that she be released. She faced up to 60 years in prison when she's sentenced on May 28th. The incident occurred on February 2024 at the boyfriend's home. McKnight had lived there, but the man repeatedly asked her to leave when their relationship ended, authorities say. Prosecutors argued that trial that McKnight was a jealous partner who didn't like that she had been asked to leave, but her attorney said the ex-boyfriend couldn't identify he couldn't identify the assailant because, well, he was asleep. I mean, how's he gonna identify?
Ain't no way.
He was asleep.
Ain't no fucking way.
The ex-boyfriend testified that he couldn't see after the incident, but that McKnight was the only other person at the home at the time. I mean, come on. Of course, the defense has to do their job in defending her, but let's keep it real. All the evidence points to the fact that in this case that she was the only one there. And then when he woke up, she tried to act like he did it to himself. I mean,
Enemy spotted.
but we're going to get to it, all right? So with that being said, we're going to get to this video here from, I believe it's CBS 21. I will leave a link to this in the description box. This is the YouTube video. So before we get into the reaction, fair use.
And we now know the attempted murder trial of the suspended Dauphin County judge will cost taxpayers around $20,000. We're talking about Sonia McKnight, who's accused of shooting her former ex-boyfriend in the head, partially blinding him. So
now, before I continue with this video, I believe came out before the conviction was actually handed down from the jury, all right? So, but what they're going to do is they're going to talk about and describe some of the scandal that she's been through in the last few years leading up to this incident, which is going to put her behind bars. By the way, again, she's 58 years old. She could face up to 60 years in prison for this crime.
The jury has been selected for her trial, and court officials tell us of the nearly $20,000 for the trial, $8,600 will go to lodging the jury since they're being brought in from Delaware County. Around $4,000 will be for food, and a little more than $1,200 will be for juror pay.
Now, they had to do all this because, of course, the case was being held in her jurisdiction where she actually presides at. So they had to bring jurors and other people from out of town to be impartial for the case. So, of course, that accrued expenses as he's talking about right now.
$4,600 just to transport the jurors to and from Delaware County. Now, McKnight's trial is scheduled to start Monday, and it's being widely talked about throughout central Pennsylvania. With that trial just days away, Let's send it over to CBS 21's Jasmine Brooks, who's walking us through the controversy surrounding McKnight during her tenure.
If you've made it this far in the video and you're still here, thank you again for your viewership. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell that way you can be notified whenever I go live or drop new content. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, please do so by hitting the Cash App $ Mr. Normie. And you can also go to my Ko-Fi page, ko-fi.com/workingmanmg. Also, I'm trying to build a community on Locals. So if you would, go please check out my Locals page and you can join for just $5 a month. You can post and we can build a community of like-minded working men over there. Thank you for your time. Now back to the video.
Multiple cases have been following Dauphin County Magisterial District Judge Sonia McKnight. Starting Friday, May 10th, 2019, an early morning shooting inside her Harrisburg home sends her estranged husband to the hospital. McKnight.
There we go. Let's check this out. PA District Judge reportedly blanks her husband in her home after he violates court order. Allegedly, Sonia McKnight's spouse previously spent 2 weeks in jail just last fall for a simple assault. Here we go. Pennsylvania District Judge reportedly, and wounded her husband Friday morning after he violated a court order for protection from abuse order. Dauphin County Magisterial District Judge Sonia McKnight is believed to have blamed her husband Enoch McKnight in their home around 8:30 a.m. Friday, less than 3 miles from the Pennsylvania State Capitol complex, according to Penn Live. Yes. A Harrisburg Police Department news release said officers responded to a call about shots fired in the area and learned that a male involved with the shooting was taken to the emergency room of a nearby hospital. Now, I suspect if they hadn't got there in time, this man might have been deleted, and then it would have been her word against a man that can't talk. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get back to the video and get some more of the story.
A protection from abuse order against him. Ultimately, she was not charged and the case was ruled self-defense.
Self-defense. See there? And of course, she's a judge, so I wonder if she had anything to do with that.
Year, McKnight would make headlines again, this time for allegations of obstruction and tampering with evidence. In December 2020, then PA Attorney General Josh Shapiro announced the arrest of the Harrisburg Magisterial District Judge for allegedly removing a pill bottle from the scene of her son's traffic stop.
Let's talk about that. Boom. This is 2021, February 9th. Judge faces ethics case over actions at son's traffic stop. Harrisburg, PA, a magisterial district judge in Harrisburg is accused of having pressured police at the scene of her son's arrest at a traffic stop, now faces ethics charges. Here we go. McKnight was charged in December by the Attorney General Office with using her status as a judge to interfere with the arrest of her son in February of 2020. Yes, she's accused of tampering with evidence, obstruction, and official oppression. All right? Her son got into a traffic stop, and from some of the other reports I read about this, she called the police and said, you know, to hold tight and don't search her son's car. She got there and took this pill bottle of drugs out of whatever was in there, made prescription, whatever, either before they could search it or told them not to search it at all. And then, of course, the cops doing what they're supposed to. They filed a case against her, and here we are. All right. And I think she ended up getting suspended or getting locked up for this. This is February 9th of 2021. Let's get back to the video.
Several years before McKnight would make the news again. In September of 2023, the Judicial Conduct Board filed former charges against her, seeking suspension. 2 months later, District Judge McKnight was suspended without pay after the board brought forward a long list of evidence against her. Violations including calling Harrisburg police for favors and not showing up for work.
Now, I remember this one. This is in my early days of doing content. Check this out. District Judge McKnight suspended without pay immediately. This was November 20th of 2023. All right. Dauphin County, PA, on November 8th, the Judicial Conduct Board of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania brought forward evidence against Judge Simon McKnight supporting the board's petition to have her suspended. According to the board, Judge McKnight has violated different rules governing standards of conduct magisterial district judges. These violations, according to court documents, range from the most egregious violations of law to failing to disqualify from the matters wherein her partiality could reasonably be questioned. So this question cases that she's presided over because she should have been recused herself. You see what I'm saying? And here we go. Let's read some of the topics here. Theft of time. Let's see here. She allowed her employees to take additional vacations, contrary to what was reported. Civil complaints. Let's see here. She had some unpaid loans and other things. Calling for a favor. She allegedly calling and requesting contact to get in touch with Harrisburg police to obtain a copy of police reports related to her criminal case. I believe that was stemming from the pill bottle situation with her son. Let's see here. She was brought in on some DUI related charges that she might have had. I think here are Officer Cummings. Pause. According to the board, Judge McKnight alleged these officers conspired to destroy her character and credibility. So she has some kind of thing going on between the law enforcement and all kind of stuff. Judge McKnight also had a Facebook page under the name Sonia Marie that identified her as a judge and had pictures of Judge McKnight in her robes. So she was out there putting out explicit content, probably on other pages using a pseudonym. Unexplained absences. The board also alleges that Judge McKnight was scheduled to work starting January 14th, 2023 to January 20th of 2023. She failed to show up and was completely out of reach on Saturday, January 14th to Monday, January 16th. So this was a case that she was supposed to preside over, and she was basically absent for the majority, if not all, of the case. You see there, this woman just taking liberties that are way out of line for somebody in her position. And if had this one guy, her husband, not have survived, that would have been one thing done. And then her son, and now ethics cases, and then she tries to delete her boyfriend. Let's get back to the video.
On February 12th, 2024, more than 5 years after police say McKnight shot her estranged husband in self-defense, another shooting. The suspended Dauphin County judge was arrested and charged with attempted murder after allegedly shooting her former boyfriend, Michael McCoy, in the head while he was sleeping in his Susquehanna Township home. McCoy was partially blinded in the shooting, and he claims he didn't shoot himself. McKnight has pleaded not guilty. Throughout the next few months, McKnight would be in court time and time again. Her attorneys trying to prove there wasn't enough evidence to send her case to trial.
Look at her stunt. Look at her stunt.
And when that didn't work,
look for the finger
trying
waves.
to dismiss the attempted murder and aggravated assault charges. A list of controversies surrounding McKnight during her tenure, all leading up to Monday, when suspended Dauphin County Judge Sonia McKnight's trial begins at the Dauphin County Courthouse. In Dauphin County, I'm Jasmine Brooks for CBS 21 News.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I think I rest my case. Yes. So as you can see, this woman finally got her just due. Now, if this man had not survived, which I'm sure that's what she was hoping, then again, it would have been her word against a man that can't talk. She did this to this man while he was sleeping because she didn't want to leave him, and she was mad and upset. And instead of just leaving and going her own way as a judge, because she was making money and got plenty of clout in the city, she tried to have this man deleted and then was probably going to cover it up because she's a judge. Luckily, this man survived. He woke up. She called 911 telling them that he did it to himself. He gets in the ambulance and tells everybody, the cops and the ambulance personnel, that if I don't survive, I didn't do this to myself. And me and her were the only people in that house. He was basically making a declaration in the ambulance in the hospital that if I don't make it, she did delete me. And guess what? She survived. The cops goes in, they collect evidence, and they found very quickly that the only person that could have did this was her. Now she's been convicted, and hopefully again, she'll get the maximum sentence because she has been abusing her power for a very long time. And I think she should get the full extent of the law. All right. And with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of the Working Man Podcast. I am your host, Nicholas J. Fury. Let me know what you think about this toxic judge that should have been went to jail down in the comment section. And please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell on your way out of the door. And just like this evil woman is finding out right now, reality checks are free. See you next time.